what we actually set for ourselves, like our own hold on y'all, thanks, resolutions, right? And so I know a big resolution for me was I wanted to lose weight. Like I wanted to, come down a few pounds. I wanted to look good in my clothes, feel good in my clothes. And so I know around the April, hey, Miss Not Like Most, how are you? Around the April, Mayish is when we kind of like start forgetting about our New Year's resolutions. It's kind of when we start like tiptoeing away from it. So I just wanted to bring that up as a conversation for today to kind of get it back into the forefront of our minds, to kind of get us back on track. Because sometimes our New Year's resolutions, we start off really, really good and we consistent and we doing it. And then somehow we'll get back on TikTok and we'll get the ice cream and we'll lay down and watch TV. Things on our plates, work related, and all life will start lifing, right? And then next thing you know, you so far from your New Year's resolution. It's like, dang, did I even lose 10 pounds? You'll start off losing 15 and then gain 20. You feel me? So I invited Skywalker, and Skywalker, I want to say amazing job this morning on your interview. That was so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
How you handle that. I love your energy. I love your vibe with it. I was like, Skywalker doing his thing. I love it. So I wanted to say thank you so much. And then I also want to say thank you for coming in, giving me a few moments of your time, because I know you are so big in the health and the mental health and the mental fitness thing. And I didn't want this to be like an interview. I wanted this just to be a relaxed, candid conversation. To just kind of get that, especially in our community, have that as a focal point, and for things for people to start thinking about, and have that conversation. So I appreciate you.
No worries. I will tell you this. I made a resolution, New Year's resolution. It was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was 265 pounds. I'm down around maybe 215, 220 right now. So that was one of those things. All the years before that, I'm going to lose weight. And what happens is you're good up until around February or March. And that's when it's like, I'm getting bored of this, or you don't see the results coming as quickly as you want. Right. So what happens is everyone falls off. So I made it a thing to stick with it, because you got to look at it like this. When you're trying to lose weight or drop body fat or anything like that, it's like putting a seed in the ground. That seed is doing something. It's growing. You just can't see it. So right. Your body is trying to get rid of all the visceral fat. It's trying to burn that away before you'll start seeing it like physically on the outside. Most of the time you'll start seeing it in your face first. So that was one of the things. My face started getting slimmer and I was like, okay, maybe this is going to work. So right. I stuck with it. And now I can't see myself getting back up to that 265. It wasn't healthy. I was kind of like almost pre-diabetic. So it's kind of like, I got to change some things in my life.
Right. I got you. Can I ask everybody to share the live, tap the screen? This is definitely a conversation that is going to flip your Saturday night motive, your mindset. This is not for the drama. This is not for the mess. This is something to fuel you. This is something to get you in the right mindset, okay? And I know if we can get those other drama-filled rooms up to 600, 300 people, let's try to fill this room up, because I know we're going to get some good information and we're going to have a good conversation now. So y'all, please share the live, like it. Let's get this out, because we got some really good stuff tonight to share with you guys. So Skywalker, what I wanted to ask, right, is because I know as a woman, right, I would start 300 diets. Right? Even if I saw like a little bit of a change, if my mindset wasn't in it and I didn't kind of correlate that with something outside of dieting, I would feel like I'm punishing myself. I would feel like, oh man, I can't eat, a cupcake because I'm on a diet. So then I would just get discouraged and just give up. Like, what do you say to your clients and the people you come involved with when they feel that way? You muted, Skywalker. You muted.
There we go. Okay. So, you still have to have a reward day. But the thing is, the reward has to come for doing hard work, meaning whether you're on the diet, restricting your calories, that reward or that dessert, I was thinking that was supposed to be normal. You know, every day I thought I was supposed to have ice cream, cookies, chips, things like that. And I still like those things. Cookies, chocolate chip cookies is my kryptonite. I love it. But you have to have that discipline. You have to have that responsibility to yourself to say, you know what? If I can get through this week of going through calorie restriction or dieting, then I can eat that. Because when you balance it out, if you're eating this many calories less, by the time you raise it back up from eating the cookies and the ice cream, you're not back at that higher level. So you're still going to be losing. Another thing, please hear this. Stop weighing yourself every single day. Pick one day out of the week, whether it's a Monday morning, and count that as your day and make sure you're wearing the same exact thing every single time you weigh yourself.
Right. That's true. Because we do that as a lot. We'll get on a diet and then we'll think we got to weigh ourselves every day, like how much I lost. And then sometimes you'll get discouraged when it don't go down and you be like, man, this thing ain't working. And you will just stop doing it. So thank you. I appreciate that part. So
yes, that frustration will kick in, and that's the biggest thing to make people give up. I don't see anything happening. Why am I doing this to myself? I might as well stop.
Right. Do you think, and this is just my personal, like just asking for me personally, that health, like physical health is correlated with mental health?
Definitely. And the reason why I say that, because that same discipline that you have in your daily structure, as far as I'm going to restrict my calories, I'm going to be disciplined to this, I'm going to be responsible to myself, I'm going to be consistent with that. That does something to your mind. It ventures out to everything you do. Whether I have work to do at work, okay, I'm going to make sure I get this done. I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm not going to push it off. It still works with the same thing, that same brain function. It triggers.
And I wanted to ask you that because I saw a post that you made about diabetes running in your family because nobody runs in your family. And I said, is it a mental thing that is also generational? Like, has it became a thing where, you know, losing weight is a restriction? It's hard. Like, is that not something that's taught from younger ages where it becomes the norm of, you know, in your family?
I'm going to say this. In today's society, overweight is the norm. It really is. It's the norm. And what they do is once someone has diabetes, let's say they have type 2, they get type 2. So now they're not going to change the way they eat. So now their kids are going to eat that same exact way. And then they're going to get diabetes, type 2. So now that's why it keeps running in the family. It's not I can't say that it's not a hereditary thing, because sometimes you can get type 1 and that is like, okay, I had it in my family. But the type 2, you can adjust that by your diet. I know so many people I've helped get off of the medications and the insulin and everything just by dieting and losing weight.
Okay. So what if you have like an older family, right? And most of the people in your family is elderly and you're trying to advocate for them. Hey, can we eat turkey sausage instead of the fried fatty sausage? Or when you're trying to advocate for your family to do things different, like during like Easter, you know what I'm saying? Easter is a big meal. They're going to eat the fried chicken. They're going to have the ribs. They're going to have all the fatty things. And then you try to alternate that menu a little bit so that your family can become more healthier. And now you're like you the know-it-all. You think you're gonna come over here and just change our whole menu? We've been eating our potato salad like this since Big Mama been making it. Like, what do you say to those family members who just, you know, don't want to do the change?
Okay, I am getting ready to say something, and this is probably going to go against everything that you think. Mm-hmm. It's not so much the fried food. It's the carbohydrates, it's the sugar, it's the over amount of sugar, whether it's fruit, whether it's just regular carbs, because that's what spikes your insulin. When your insulin spikes up like that, it's saying store everything as fat. We have to get this out of our bloodstream. So that's what that insulin, when it starts surging like that, it's trying to shuttle everything. Look at it like this, walking down a hallway. But now let's say you have 100 people walking down that hallway. What those 100 people are trying to do now, they have to go into these different rooms because you have to clear that hallway. Insulin is making you clear that hallway. It is the security guard or the police officer saying, get in the rooms.
Okay.
So when you spike your insulin, that is the worst thing. So the fried stuff, think about a ketogenic diet, and that's what I'm on. I'm on a ketogenic diet. I can have bacon, sausage, I'm eating fried eggs. I'm eating all of that. I'm not eating the bad oils like the hydrogenated oils or the trans fats. I'm not eating those things. But olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, I'm down in those things.
Okay, somebody asked in the comments, is fruit bad for insulin resistance?
Okay. Woo!
So,
Do you really want to know this answer?
Hold on one
are
second.
you doing it? Are you doing an interview?
Oh,
It's
no,
not-
no, no. This is a free-for-all.
Yeah, it's just a candid conversation.
Oh, okay. I just didn't want to be. I didn't think about it. I just saw him up here by himself.
Yeah, well, it's like an interview, but everybody kind of have an interview, so we're gonna do it a 2.0 kind of way. So we're gonna give out all the good information, and then when people want to come up to ask good questions, then I want it to be like a whole conversation as a community, because that's really how you affect the change. You get one person to start talking about it, to another person start talking about it, to not everybody's talking about it, and that's how you actually get the change developed, right? And I know drama spreads the fastest, but we want to change the narrative. We want to change it to where it's not spreading the fastest. Actually, wealth spreads the fastest, because nobody wants to talk about money as much as you want to talk about mess. So let's be honest. Wealth actually spreads the fastest. It's just the way you try to get money. People not talking about that. So we're going to change the narrative over here. And I believe being what I want to call myself is being a solution driven person. Is it only takes one, and then from that one we'll gain 2 or 3, and the people that get it, and the people that won't. You feel me? So that's the type of conversation, that's the type of platform, that's the kind of room that I really wanted to have. And I reached out to Skywalker, and I'm so grateful that he said he didn't. Skywalker is like, soon as he read it, I guess he was like, sure, I'm down. What's up? What time? Show me. Of course, I love talking about this. Of course, I love educating my people. So I want to be so thankful for him for being able to come over here and educate us on the stuff that we don't know. Because what he just said, I don't know about, it not being the fried food, about it being really the carbohydrates and things like that. So that's the type of information that we need, so we can take back to our families to help create that change. I would like to ask everybody, y'all, I don't have a cash app, but I do accept taps. I do like the shares. I do want to get on the FYP, because I do want this information to spread. And I do want a lot of people to get as much information as we possibly can. So please, 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 if you guys don't mind, tap the screen, share the live. Skywalker, so you want to answer that question about the
Yes, I do. About fruit. This is a thing. Woo! Some people are going to hate me when I say this.
Okay.
Fructose, which is in fruit. Your liver is the only organ in your body that can break fructose down. Regular carbs, I would rather you eat table sugar than fructose. Now, not saying that if you eat a lot of fruit, yes, that's bad. But if you have fruit like a serving here and there, that's not a bad thing. But your liver actually has to process that. But so many people, they want to have smoothies all day long. And what happens is that liver becomes non-alcoholic fatty liver. Because the liver is the only thing that can process that fructose. Again, I would rather you have regular table sugar, drink sodas, not hydrogenated anything. Because anything that has that hydrogen atom connected to it, that's poison for your body.
Okay, so speaking of the diabetes conversation, if a lot of people have noticed that children are now getting juvenile diabetes more now than history has ever shown. Do you see something that is kind of pattern to why more kids are getting diabetes at an earlier age now than once before?
Yes, and I don't want to say this, but I am going to say it. I blame the parents. Okay. I blame the parents if it's kind of type 2. Type 1, I don't. Type 2, I do, because it's the way that you're feeding them. If they weren't born with it, that means they had to convert to it. meaning that something happened along the way where their body was over processing that insulin. So I blame the parents.
Okay.
That's so bad to say, but I do. I blame the parents when it comes to that.
And do you think it's more so, even though we say we blame the parents, is that because going to McDonald's, getting them the Happy Meal is just more, we live in a more convenient time to do that than actually going home and cooking a meal?
I actually think it's the parents trying to fill a kid up. And carbohydrates are more filling. Think about a sponge. When a sponge is dry, it looks like this. But have you ever added water to it while it was dry?
Right.
It'll soak up. Well, that's what carbohydrates. It's hydrating. So it's going to fill you up. So they shuttle potatoes, oatmeal. Well, oatmeal is not bad because it's actually a slow burning. But as far as like potatoes, French fries that are cooked in these oils, that's not the good oils.
Okay. My daughter, she's a type 1 diabetic, but she was born with it. Her body doesn't
Right.
create insulin. So we have to go to like all these diabetic classes, and I let her go to diabetes camp. But it works for her, but it really doesn't work for her because she's only like 35 pounds and she's 11. Like she just got out of she's so super small because her body doesn't create the insulin. So she has nothing in her body breaking down her sugars. So she's taking insulin to break it down for her. But the insulin is also like breaking everything down in her body. So it was a really long time before we got her to keep weight down because, the insulin.
Well, I will tell you, remember I said 2 summers ago, I was 265. When I went for my checkup, my doctor said that my numbers were around 116, 117. So I was kind of like in that pre-diabetic. I said, I don't want this, because I know I was eating buffets all the time. And I was thinking, as long as I go to the gym, I'm okay. I'll burn it off. But the thing is, you can't burn as many calories as you're bringing in if you're eating bad. So I just kept eating bad. And the majority of the time when you're eating bad, it's because you're bored. It's not because you're super hungry. I'm bored. I used to equate sitting in front of a television. I'm supposed to be eating something. Simple as that. And so that's when my weight skyrocketed. And before that, I was always into sports. I played basketball in high school and college. So it wasn't a thing of, I was born, that heavy. So it started to creep up on me. And the next thing you know, I'm 265. My doctor's telling me that my body's in trouble. So I had to adjust and change some things.
That's true. When I asked you a little bit earlier about the mental health aspect of it, right? I want to take it for me, right? When I think of losing weight and just overall dieting, I never want to think of that because that makes me depressed. Like, I can't eat this. I can't enjoy this. But when I think about it as I like clothes and I like shopping and I like looking good in my clothes. So if my mind is thinking about how I'm going to look in an outfit versus me not eating this because I'm on a diet, I tend to stick to that a little longer than just saying, I'm on a diet. My mind is now triggered in how Rachel's going to look in a size medium versus Rachel just being in a large. So mentally, I would say, hey, I'm Rachel who likes to wear the size medium, and this is what I have to do to be a medium. Does that kind of make sense? Is that a good way of thinking of it?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Rachel, that was another turning point because I'm going to talk about me. When I was 265, and let's say a wedding's coming around or a funeral's coming around or even a school reunion, when I had to go shopping, I couldn't wear the things that look nice. I had to wear the things that fit. Yeah. And what happens is my lower body was a little bit smaller, but all of this was like, I hold a lot of fat like in my upper. So what happens is the shirt just drops straight down and it makes it look like my whole body is like that, where I could hula hoop in my clothes, but it was really trying to hide the body fat.
That's good. So when women because they say that women are more so water weight, is that a true factor? Is that a true thing, or that's just an old saying?
No, that's 100% true because it's based on estrogen. And that's why if a guy is a little bit overweight at 265, I was holding a lot of estrogen. So when that problem comes with a lot of bloat, it comes with a lot of, what is the word that I'm looking for? you will basically hold a lot of water. There's another word that I was looking for besides bloating, but it is a lot of water that you're going to carry because that estrogen is making you hold it a lot more.
Okay.
And that's why once you start like working out, once you start dieting and eating more protein based foods, what happens is your body's going to start this infernal process where it's going to just start obliterating the fat cells.
Okay. So, like, when you do have a client, right, and she's struggling with the like water weight, what are some things that you may suggest to her to like, get the like? Because I guess it's more so the up and like the up and then the down, the up then the down. We're not really consistent and staying consistent. Like, what do you suggest to the people who's just struggling with the up and down?
Okay, I am not a doctor. Research this. If you go to my page, my profile, if you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see there was a product that I used to sell through TikTok Shop. They're totally out of stock. I think it got up to 20,000 views on it. But go through my profile. It's a product called DIM, D-I-M. It blocks estrogen in men and women.
Okay.
That was one of the things I used. I've been using that for 2 years. I still use it.
Okay. And it helps with the water weight.
Oh, it is so many benefits to that DIM. And if you go to my page, you can actually read it because I have the whole layout of it.
Okay.
But they sold out and they still haven't gotten back in stock.
So even if we go to your page, Scott Walker, how are we going to get it?
Well, you can get DIM from Amazon. It was just cheaper through the TikTok Shop. And I actually purchased maybe 3 or 4 of those bottles before they went bad because that is my go-to. Between taking DIM and actually taking like vitamin C for collagen, things like that, and a multivitamin, that is my go-to DIM.
All right.
It's called DIM. And you can get that from like broccoli. You can get it from cabbage. You can get it from a lot of green type vegetables.
That makes sense because I remember when I when I was on when I was shedding weight like a motherfucker, I used to eat a cabbage based like vegetable soup every day.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie to you, cause I was like 250. I went down to like 230 in like 3 weeks. I lost
And
like
you didn't
20
know what
pounds
was
in
going
3
on. You're
weeks.
just like, oh,
Hell
this is
nah, but
working.
when you say it now, cause I swear I get to working out now, like the bloating went away, all of that shit went away fast. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally shed weight like it fell off the bone.
And not only that, Slim God, it's fiber. Fiber,
Yeah.
it doesn't break down and go into your bloodstream. It actually flushes your system. So that's another benefit of having like green vegetables like that, broccoli, cabbage, even cauliflower. Cauliflower is another good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would put.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, I would have it would be cabbage, it'd be squash, zucchini,
Yes.
carrots, potatoes. Of course I put what else was in there? Tomato
Mm-hmm.
and
Lycopene.
then I would eat it with a turkey sandwich and I put avocado on my motherfucking avocado. I eat a sandwich with avocado spread, you know what I'm saying? And I always and I put habaneros because habaneros is supposed to do something for you. I forget, but it's supposed to be heavy for you. Habaneros and jalapenos. Then you have
Yes.
your little celery and shit like that, celery, bell peppers, and onions. But yeah, it like I swear that soup, I used to just eat it because it was good. I would eat that shit even when it wasn't time for me to eat it. But I promise you, when I be on this shit like 2, 3 weeks, man, I lose all that damn weight fast as hell.
Yes. Nurse Pink just hit it. It's a cruciferous. That's exactly right. All of those type vegetables. Now, and I will tell you the thing about the potato. I still eat a lot of potatoes, but it's the wild yam because that raises your testosterone.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Potato is you saying it's potato or wild? Yeah, I'm sorry.
The
Sis.
wild yam, a sweet potato.
sweet potato.
Oh,
That's
okay,
another
okay.
thing you can Google because I found out about that probably when in my early 30s before I started picking up all the weight. And of course, now there are side effects. You're going to be walking around with a high libido.
Yeah, nah, that was part of what it was. Cause I'll be honest with you, like my drive ain't as high as it used to be. I'm thinking it just cause I'm older. But when you
No.
start saying that shit, like, cause I'm 280 right now, and I'm normally like 230. Like 230 is a healthy size for me. But
Okay.
at 280, like I ain't gonna lie, I think about it all the time, but I'm like 6 is just like okay, cool, yeah, we can do it. We don't have to do it. Whereas when I was like around 230 and eating and taking all that shit into my
Ready to
body,
go.
it wasn't no such thing. It was like shit. I